Casual here. The developers are giving me no rest or grind time at the moment as they've released yet another developer update, and this one is a meaty one covering preloading and launch times, what's changed between demo and launch, patches and post-launch support, legendary restoration and cheating and hacking policy. I will leave a link to the full patch notes in the description and just cover the highlights here. Well, the big news here is that the Xbox Preload is live now. I'm watching the 60GB slowly download as I record this. PlayStation will be available 48 hours before launch. The jury's still out for Steam, while preloading is not available on the Epic Store. In terms of launch times, console players will get a head start as the game goes live at midnight on April the 1st for your country. Unless you have a VPN, then I guess you'll be getting a head start on everyone. For PC, there is a global release time of 5 PM British Summer Time or 9 AM on the US West Coast. Stadia users will follow PC. Possibly Square Enix can email the three of you on that platform personally in the future. Lots of things are covered in the Reddit thread here on top of bug fixes. The key points that jump out though are: balancing in the game is going to be an ongoing process. Changes to items, mods, enemy stats and loot drops have already happened and more is expected with the launch of the main game. I recently published a video on whether Outriders was really a live service game or not. It's stuff like this that really blurs the lines for me, and while yes we are getting a full game on day one, in substance there is a lot of similarity between this game and say Destiny. I've said my piece though on that, so let's move on. Crossplay will be live on launch and no longer in beta. You can manually turn it off if you so wish, but be aware that this will then block players on your platform who've turned it on from also matchmaking. You can still direct invite them though. Mass marking of items of the same rarity will go live. That one is really going to save my controller's right stick. Some fairly vague hints of improvements to the cover system were given, and also the travel voting system when in a group. And finally, a very cool change, which is that additional information about internal cooldown mechanics of mods will be added to their description. It has been clear from the way the mods are working in practice, particularly on the legendary items, that there were cooldowns that weren't immediately apparent. You can see this when effects don't activate when you would expect them to. Again, the developers knocking it out of the park in terms of communication here. 2 patches were confirmed today. A day 1 patch, which in particular will address the shaky cutscenes and stuttering we have all experienced, and then a post-launch patch which will address loading and performance improvements. Interestingly, cross-play friends lists and invite systems across all platforms will also come with this patch, but to access it, you must have a Square Enix member account. Legendaries that were lost before March the 22nd will be restored today. Awesome news. The developers went on to note that any gear being lost now is likely to be due to games being terminated before an autosave could occur. Typically, specific farming methods that are so fast that they prevent the game from triggering an autosave cycle before the farming run is reset, or a crash. The developers are still looking into how they can address this. As always, if you're still missing items, reply to the Reddit thread. I love this part of the thread. So the devs have identified around 200 players who are clearly cheated, including the person who, get this, gave themselves 600 legendary weapons. Did that person seriously think they wouldn't be caught? Any cheaters will be barred from matchmaking with any legit players, and their HUD will be branded with a watermark, so any content created on this account will clearly show their account is flagged as such. And it is their entire account, not individual characters. The only way to become unflagged before launch is to delete all characters and items on your entire account. Any cheating post-launch will result in a permanent brand. You have been warned. They did run through examples of cheating, which include modifying game files, game times, aimbots, and so on. Finally, our pre-order Hell Rangers gear will magically appear in our stashes on launch day. You won't be able to equip it until you hit level 10, something to look forward to. Until next time, casual out.